Hello viewers, you're welcome to the TFK Read Write Club. My name is Frank Kabushenga and today we are here to look at Dr. Jjuuko's book. It is the very matter that brings us here today. He wrote a book that is said to be launched on September 29th. And so we here bring you a review of this book for you to be able to know what to look out for as we get to launch this book. It's one of our best productions for this year, and I am very happy that Dr. Jjuuko, you join us on this program today to discuss this book, not in detail, dear viewer, just a review, a snippet of it, to get you to know what to look out for in this book. So Dr. Jjuuko, you're welcome to this program.
Thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here.
Great. Now, Dr. Jjuuko, as a culture, before we delve into the details of what we're going to share today, we have an art piece behind us here. I would want you to look at it and maybe share a few insights about what it brings to your mind when you look at a presentation like this here at the Read Write Club.
Well, I can see a big book. Back to the tree that is sprouting out of the book, I would like to imagine that it is sending out a message.
Yep.
That book knowledge is the foundation of growth.
Yes.
I'm trying to imagine that the tree is whoever did that piece was imagining that in his mind, that growth and sprouting, and you need the knowledge from the book somewhere, somehow.
Great.
Yes, so that's how I can relate it.
Thank you, Doctor.
Perhaps these ones are those ones that have already been read. And then you have to refresh when you are taking a cup of tea or a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think to add to your observation, you realize that the fruition, the tree has got very nice fruits.
Yes.
And it's also a succulent. It's not just a tree, but it is a really firm, strong tree.
Exactly.
And indeed, like you observed, it is the books that we read that inform how strong we get to be in life.
Yes.
And which informs our success, especially with the knowledge that we acquire.
It's the foundation.
The foundation,
of
yes.
growth and also knowledge.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And we also believe at the TFK Read Write Club that as food is to the stomach, so is reading is to the brain. And then we also go ahead and pose another question, but now what do you read if there is nothing written? So for you now to come out and sacrifice the time that you did to offer this book to Uganda and the world at large, you have provided a sumptuous meal for the brain. So congratulations, Doctor.
Thank you very much.
And at this we'll delve into the detail. And dear viewer, you allow me go to the blurb and read this book. It's a very nice book. It has over about 400 pages, novel bound pages, paper, very good, friendly to the eye, very interesting book here we have. And here our writer and author with us, Dr. Jjuuko, is the founding executive director of an NGO in Uganda called Community Integrated Development Initiative, CD, based in Muyenga. He is a veterinary doctor who has turned into an ardent community developer with a bigger than big heart, whose works have touched many lives. He was born on the 15th of August, 1959 in Kisojo village, found in Bukoma Simbi district, carved out of the Greater Masaka district. So, Dr. Jjuuko, you're very welcome to today's program.
Thank you.
I do not know whether you have a little more to add to that introduction about who you were. I could have skipped something very important or something that we did not remember to put across.
Well, yes, like you said, I'm born of one of those rural places.
Yep.
Kisojo is indeed a rural place. It's found in Masaka, Greater Masaka, and in Bukoma Simbi district. And so you can imagine that it experiences all that villagers or people who grow in rural areas can experience.
Yeah.
It gave me that chance to have that to go through that kind of experience as a young man growing in the rural areas.
Great.
Yes.
So, dear viewer, that is Dr. Jjuuko, and just as every story starts, no one ever gets born from out of the blue. Dr. Jjuuko has parents, and so, Doctor, I just want to use a few minutes to talk about the genesis, especially that bit of your parents. So what do you have to tell us about your parents, especially picking from the bigger story out of this book?
Well, yes, I'm born of two parents. My father is the late Emmanuel Magembe. He's a Mulangira, I would say, for that matter.
Okay.
We hail from Chwanabaka. We hail from the Mulangira that he went to live with his brother in Bunyoro that time, Kalemera. Actually, that one was a son of Chwanabaka who did some mischiefs with the king of Uganda at that time, Chwanabaka, and then sent him to live with the brother as a punishment.
Okay.
So we hail from that Kalemera, who gave birth to twins, and I come from the twin called Chibikaganda as one of the two twins. So those ones gave rise to my great grandfathers,
okay,
and then to my father Emmanuel Magembe. And then my mother is Pauline Nabagirinya.
Okay.
She's of the Engo clan, and they lived together for quite a number of years before my father died. I think close to about 30 years until my father died. And we spent much of the time as we were growing up, especially my siblings, growing up with my mother.
Okay.
Yes. And so I have a lot of experiences with my mother, because even during the time when my father was still around, he used to do some kind of odd jobs that she used to take him out of home. And so much of the time we would stay with the mother, doing all sorts of works that you would imagine a rural home boy would do or girl would do with the mother, and that is digging, tilling the land, fetching water, washing clothes, and doing all sorts of things. Yes, and experiencing all sorts of difficulty that is marked by a lot of shortages in the rural, and that's how we came up. That's how we grew up.
Great.
Yeah.
I take from your mother's contribution to this book.
Yes.
He emphasizes something, that she thanks God for you. Actually says, I also thank God for my son Jjuuko, who has lived to see and enjoy all the dreams that he had right from his formative stages. Your mom attests to the fact that you had lots of dreams that you have lived to see. Maybe you can sample us one or two.
Yes, I can sample the story. One day when I was, I think, in P4, she sent me to go and visit, not actually visit, deliver a mail to one of our teachers. He was called Teacher Mayanja. And that teacher lived in about 3 villages away from ours.
Okay.
And when I reached Teacher Mayanja's home, I was very fascinated by the way, the cleanliness of Teacher Mayanja's home, the construction, and when I entered the house, how it was laid, the cushions, the chairs, and it was much like houses which I would see in Masaka when I went to Masaka town. It was very rare that somebody in a village would construct such a house which was so beautiful. So as a young man, I was very impressed. And when I entered the house, I even feared to sit on the chair because I was putting on my dirty shorts and the shirt. So it made an impression on me. And when I went back home, I told my mom that, you see, when I grow up, I want to build a house like that of Mr. Mayanja.
Wow, wow.
And she laughed because she was comparing our house
At that time, yes.
at that time, how it looked. Of course, it was far away, maybe 10 times less attractive.
Okay.
Made of mud and wattle, and also some areas having iron sheets on top, others don't have. And so it was not so good to compare with Mr. Mayanja's house.
Yeah.
But here I was at that age saying that I will do something even better than Mr. Mayanja.
Yes.
So she was fascinated and actually laughed it off. He said, "You to build a house like Mayanja's?" I said, "Yes."
It was a far-fetched thought.
Yeah. So, but later on, I think when I grew and things turned out to be true, like maybe we shall see later on. That's why I think she made that statement.
Quite interesting. And dear viewer, now for you to get what happened later on, I'll encourage you to find this book. It is already in Aristoc, it's already in Uganda bookshop. You can get it on our website, on the scroll. And so we will not give it to you entirely, but this is to tell you that we have a good book for us to
And
consider.
perhaps also maybe to add on that, I had a feeling and wanting to support her and my parents to support me in studies.
Yeah.
So one time we lived near a market, and so I took some of the harvest we had done, popcorns, and them being away, I just went, cleaned, and put the saucepan, fried, and I took to the market to sell, to earn money, so that I would supplement some of the shortfalls that I would be asked for, like pens, and sometimes food. That time we would carry food to the schools. And so I thought that perhaps if I made money, I would even be able to buy something at school to supplement whatever little I was taking. And so she saw me as an ambitious person, and when I came back, she reported me to my dad. That this boy went to the market and made this kind of business. And so my father was very, very cross with me, because I think he didn't want me to get engaged in money matters at that age. So he called me and scolded me. And then he asked me, "What did you do with the money?" I said, I used part of the money to buy sunglasses, and that the rest of the money I am keeping, I will use it at school. I will use it to pay some of the food and also to pay some of the things that I needed. Then he said, "Bring those glasses here." So I brought the glasses. So he held them from me, put them under his foot, and crushed them.
Oh no.
And when he did that, it's as if he was crushing my heart. I thought, this man is really not realistic. He should have appreciated that at least I took the trouble to make some money.
Yes.
But he's not wanting me to engage in money matters. So he said, "The next time I see you get in money matters, that is where you will stop your education. I will not give you any more school fee."
Oh no.
Yes. Yeah. So they thought that maybe by doing that, I would get spoiled.
Yes.
And then not go to school. But I think that kind of memory stayed in me and always echoed back that really I needed to do some kind of entrepreneurship to be able to generate some money for myself, even if my father at this stage does not understand me. I kept it at the back of my mind.
Right.
Yeah.
So it did not deflate
so
you.
I think sees me afterwards that I was still moving in that trend of trying to be some kind of entrepreneur or somebody who wants to work and get out of maybe shortages that I don't have. Yes.
Quite interesting. And dear viewer, now for you to get the full story, here is the package for you.